experience. And these are real conversations that I'm going to share with you, because I'm sure if my customers are sharing them, I'm sure that you have the same concerns. So, you know, for example, I'll give you an example. I have people who walk into our fitness studio and they will share with me that they want to start exercising. And of course, we probe down and ask more questions. And so, how long has it been since you've exercised? And I'll say like 2 or 3 years, common answers. And so I'm just listening. And then they'll say something like, and I want to lose 10 to 15 pounds. And I'll listen even closer. And they think, you know, as we go through, hey, Juan, hey, Megan, how are you? As we go through this, they'll say, well, I want to exercise because I want to lose the weight. And they think the exercise is what's going to help them to lose the weight. Now, I'm not saying exercise can't do that. And I think there's a lot of variables to that. But one thing people have in mind, it's just about burning calories and counting calories. So we titled this message tonight is that, you know, don't count calories, and here's why. I'm going to give you some examples. You know, if you're 20 years old, you know, you're at a point where your body is just performing at a maximum level, and you are so efficient that you could go out and eat 3 Big Macs, for example, and probably wouldn't ever gain a pound. You just probably wouldn't. Your body just runs on that type of fuel where just easy in, easy out. But as we age, 30 starts, typically people say 30 starts to ticker when things start to slow down. So you think about your metabolism.
Thanks for sharing, Maria.
Think about your metabolism is that, you know, if you had a spigot and it was gushing out, and when you hit 30, somebody turned the spigot back just like a 1/4 of an inch, so it's running less. And then every year they turn it back a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. Well, if you came back like after 8 years, you would notice, hey, that spigot's running a lot slower than I left it. It's a simple analogy to understand how we burn and how we naturally become less efficient in burning. So when people come to me and they say, I'm going to exercise and I want to lose 10 to 15 pounds, I give them a surprising answer. I say to them, you know, you really don't need to exercise to lose weight. And they look at me because in their head, they're programmed that if I exercise, I'll lose weight.
And I want to say something real quick because we hear this a lot. People will say, I used to be able to just go out and exercise and I lose all my weight. Or when I was younger, all I had to do was pick up my couple of activities at the gym and I would lose weight. Guess what? When you're younger, the Fitbits, the calorie counting, we'll talk into that more, it does make a difference. But when you're older, it don't work the same way because the body don't work the same way.
Well, and the idea is they're surprised by me telling them that. And I'm not, I'm going to get to why you should exercise. But I want you guys to get the point is that if you just went into a strong nutritional mode, really focused on your eating like we've been preaching for the last several months, and really locked in there without even counting a calorie or paying attention to calories in the sense of I'm going to burn this much exercise and eat less, just by eating well, you lose weight. And finding out the right foods to eat for you, you would lose weight. You don't need exercise to do that. So why do you exercise? Well, you exercise for a lot of reasons. You exercise because you want to build muscle. You exercise because you want to tone and tighten. You will exercise because you need to create stability. Many people have lots of instability in their joints. You exercise to improve joint mobility. You exercise for cellular generation. You exercise to increase your cardiovascular conditioning. You exercise for your ability to use oxygen in a much more efficient way, right? You exercise because you will look better, you'll feel better. They are totally in a different box than weight loss.
Right. Sweating is a big, huge form of extenuating detoxing, which is why another reason to exercise or get in a sauna. But sweating you don't get from eating food except for hot peppers. You're right there with the camera, dude.
Oh, I'm messing all up.
And then you're covered in my stuff. But that's okay.
You know, I took some notes, and I didn't know these numbers to be exact. That's why I looked them up. And they're probably not totally exact, but I just give you to make the point I'm trying to make is this: is that if you went out and walked for 30 minutes, you know, just moderate walking, not high speed walking, you know, and you would burn somewhere between 90 and 150 calories.
And the range is
30 minutes.
The sex and the age and the body size of the person.
I'm going to make that point, Lee. The bigger you are, I mean heavier, the more calories you would burn. Naturally, the faster you walk, the more calories you would burn. I got a moderate 2.5 miles per hour walk, which is really simple. If you went out and ran for 30 minutes at a moderate level, 11-minute mile, right? Now, of course, your body weight would determine things a little bit different, but you'll burn anywhere from 300 to 450 calories by running. So the idea is there's benefits to walking, huge benefits to walking, and there's benefits to running, huge benefits to running. But the idea of thinking that amount of exercise, think about what does it really take if you burn 250 calories? what does it really take to consume 250 calories above and beyond? Now, one thing I want you guys to get, a pound is 3,500 calories.
In theory.
In theory. Okay, very good point, Lee, because we'll talk about that in a second. But the idea is that we could tell you that your metabolic rate, we could tell you through your metabolic rate that, for example, you need to eat 2,000 calories per day. So this is a 180-pound male that is 37 years old, and we know his health history, and we can figure out that he needs to eat 2,000 calories a day. So if he would cut back 500 calories a day for 7 days, that's 3,500 calories, he could lose 1 pound per week by cutting back those calories, in theory.
That's what everybody tells you. So that's
Right.
what all the books tell you, that's what all the Fitbits tell you, that's what all the scientists tell you. But all of that is done based on research with what peoples? 18-year-olds.
Young
Kids,
people.
Young people before the spigot starts slowing
People
down.
like me, young.
And it's unfortunate
Yeah.
because it's not communicated in the right way, that when different parts of the body, which we talk about every week, are changing, the calorie counting just doesn't work from a burning or consuming. So I'm going to take you off path. But
55 is the new 18.
I know, baby. You're just amazing. You're just amazing 18-year-old, ain't you now?
So the idea is that if you get in this thing of count my calories because I'm going to run, I'm going to do elliptical, I'm going to go on the treadmill, I'm going to walk, or lifting weights. Even lifting weights for a half an hour at a moderate level, I'm not talking about at a HIIT level, but at a moderate level, is only between 250 and 350 calories on an average person. And there's a lot of variables that change that number, so I don't want you to lock me in. But the idea is that you get the point that it's really not about that. Because look, you could eat a really good breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And you could have one bad moment. You guys know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. Maybe that bad moment is 4 Chips Ahoy cookies. Or maybe it's a bad moment, it's a Snickers bar. Or it's an ice cream. Whatever it may be. And you just swapped out those calories that fast because you were thinking, if I count calories. Now, some people swear to it that they're counting calories and that's why they're doing well. But I would argue the reason they're doing well is that they've been extending themselves with high intensity exercise for a long period of time, right? And then they've been eating well for a long period of time. And what they have done is they have flipped their metabolism and they have now become a fat burning machine versus someone. Yeah. So you guys you want to touch on this a little bit?
I just want to add that if you're losing weight and you're feeling great and you are counting calories and it's working, keep it up. And if you're losing weight, counting calories from what you burn, keep it up. But just remember, at some point, people plateau, and then when people are losing, it slows down the rate. All of a sudden, they just stop. And that's when you have to seek help, maybe from another approach. See us, see somebody like us, somebody that may understand what you're not understanding yet. The problem with the plateau is most people do what? They give up. Then they go up.
Oh, that's right.
And because they realize that this isn't
people
working.
go through spikes.
It worked for a month, it worked for 2 months, it worked for 6 months. If you're severely overweight and you never move and you start moving, you're going to burn some calories, and for 3 to 4 months you're going to lose some weight, and then you're going to stop. And then the body reaches a no home. What? What did I just say?
Sitting in front of this fire, I
got my jacket off earlier.
I'm not burning calories. I'm burning up.
So what you don't know is that I got up earlier to take off my jacket because it was hot and I didn't want to complain. But he probably gets to complain, and now the fireplace is going to go off and I'm going to get cold. Whatever.
Oh my God, that was.
You hit the nail on the head. Which part did I say, Christine? You hit the nail on his head. And yes, Christine, I agree with you. You are what you age you think you are, but sometimes when it comes to health, it doesn't work. Yeah. So I was saying something really important.
Well, let me bridge it.
But I was saying something really important. You weren't listening because you were thinking about the heat,
Lee,
and that was more important than you saying take it away.
You're like E.F. Hutton.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So anyway, the point is, don't give up what you're doing. Figure out what else you have to modify and change. And so the calorie theory, which has been going on for a long, long time, just needs some refocusing. But the problem that has happened today is that diet programs and Fitbits and Garmin's and software and apps are all making money, even off just the marketing they get free advertising. I mean, they get a software that's free and they get paid the advertising dollar to continue to give you their marketing, their apparatus use. And it's all great until it stops. And then what do you do? Because it's far outside calories. It's far outside the content of your food. It's really about the body, everything we keep talking about, your brain, your digestive tract, your cardiovascular system, all the body parts that don't work well when the wrong food is going in. And then how do you figure it out? So we talk so much about elimination. We talk a lot about intermittent fasting. We talk about paleo, ketogenic. Which approach is better? Why are you smiling so big?
Tim says, when Lee talks, everyone listens.
Thank you, Tim. That's
what he didn't write is that when Chuck talks, everybody goes to the bathroom.
You really like to take these things south so fast. And you laugh at your own jokes.
I do.
I don't think you should do that.
I've been doing that forever. It's worked for me.
Someone has to
That's
laugh.
why I think I'm funny.
You are kind of funny. Yeah. So I thought about this today. I want to show people this.
Let me lead into Lee. I know Lee's subject here.
Whatever.
But look, if you put the exercise in one box and you put nutrition in one box, you put calorie count in one box, right? And the idea is that there's a lot of boxes. And here's another big box as to why you can't count calories. Because sometimes it's just your approach to what you're eating. And if you just made a shuffle of some foods, you wouldn't be having the problems that you're currently experiencing.
And so how do you figure that out? So we have talked every week pretty much, I think, about eliminating. What do you eliminate? What do you eliminate? There are reasons that certain foods are highly allergenic. There's a list of the top 10 allergens, and there's some that are beyond that. And for 25 years, I've been talking about delayed food sensitivity, delayed onset of food sensitivity. Yes, ma'am. What foods take up to 72 hours to present themselves? And they can show in your head, they can show in your stomach or your throat or reflux, they can show up in your stomach, your joints, your neck, your back. Some people get swelling in their body tissues. Not right away. 1 to 4 hours after a meal is different than up to 72 hours later. One of the things that we do with some patients who don't want to just do the elimination approach is we actually test. And I mentioned that before. I thought I'd show you something that it came up tonight because a patient asked me a question. And here's an example real quick of somebody's test. Ooh, I forgot to block out the names. Okay, so this person's test, I'm going to hold it up close. See all those lines that go halfway to the middle? Because this person doesn't have a lot that goes over here, this person really needs to focus on the things that go to this part, the red, the middle part. And see how these things that are 0, 0, 0, either they don't eat them or they have very mild reaction to them. But anything that's above halfway through this first section and into the second section, this person needs to pay closer attention to. So this person, for example, it's casein, which comes from milk, cheddar cheese, which comes from milk, cottage cheese, which comes from milk, whey protein comes from
milk.
I just want you to say something. And egg whites and egg yolks is halfway over. And so for this person, they might have to pay attention to what are two wonderful foods, but maybe for them, not so ideal to have 7 days a week. Very critically important. This next person, really interesting, because I know these people pretty much inside and out. We've already spent time losing weight. Now they're stuck at a new set point. They wanted to do the test. This person, if you look at their chart, right? A lot further over to the side of the page. And the second page, I'm not going to show you, but a lot over to the right. But the first section for this person, cheddar cheese comes from
dairy,
cow's milk, and whey protein, and then egg white and egg yolk. This person eats a lot. Those two show up on every other person that we test on.
So what does that mean, man?
I'm going to tell you when I'm done. And so this next person,
boom,
boom, keep it up. Guess what? These are just random people. Random, you can't see their names. Casein comes from dairy. Cheddar cheese comes from dairy. Cottage cheese comes from dairy. So, cow's milk. These people love cheese. All three of them happen. I know them. I just pulled these three randomly, and then egg whites.
Wouldn't it logically be easier if you could identify foods that are giving you trouble? You know, I often tell people that I'd be willing to bet without even knowing you that you're eating something that's considered healthy in your head that is just not healthy for you.
To eat in such large quantities or on a regular basis or at all. There's 3 different levels,
So
right?
if you asked, how do you know? Here's how you know. There's testing.
We can guess.
And if you live in Florida or Texas or Kentucky, we could still help you with this test.
Or you can find it somewhere close to you. Now I'm going to show you guys something at the bottom of all these tests. See this bottom? Pretty high, moderate, and moderate. All 3 of these people tested moderate and above for what's called the Candida albicans screen. Candida albicans. We've talked about leaky gut, and we haven't used the word candidiasis, but candida, and I'm going to go into that in a minute. What's critical to know, and this person said to me tonight who did not have the test done, wouldn't most people that come to your office test high for leaky gut? And I said, yeah, as a matter of fact. She goes, or they probably aren't coming here. Great point. So people that come to someone like us have already been trying something recently, or they just gave up 3 years ago because nothing they were doing was working. People who have relatively healthy immune systems, strong adrenals, strong hormone balancing, strong digestive tract, they don't have a leaky gut. They don't have so much difficulty losing weight. If you really are trying and you think you're doing everything the right way, and you might get on a great product. Network marketing products have great products Non-working products have great programs and supplements. After a while, those supplements and things stop working for you. There's a product out there, it will remain nameless. A lot of marketing, a lot of success rate, but eventually those people can't lose weight anymore because everything they're eating has so much soy in it. This first page is not so soy. The point is that if you don't take the time to wean out all the possible allergens and then add them back in, or do a test, you're not going to know. So Chuck, back to the Candida. So Candidiasis, Candida albicans, testing moderate to high in that part of that test helps us to look into further tests. Everybody has Candida albicans in our digestive tract. It's a good thing in our digestive tract, but when it's overgrown, which is fed from sugar, processed foods, and alcohols, which is why people say you can't lose weight if you eat too many of those things, it's because you're proliferating your gut system, you're creating a leaky gut, and these things are getting into your system, things that don't belong there that create more toxic environment.
And you
and
remind
makes it so easy to gain weight.
You remind me of something, Lee, and this is why.
I remind you of a lot of things.
Well, this is big because nutrition. Everybody wants to talk about nutrition in a way as if they're some kind of expert at it, and they may be, but this gets so deep because we're saying some things now that may be beyond the scope of the average person, but because we get to hear this stuff all day long.
And this is not new; it's just getting more acceptable.
But the idea is that you may find is that you could actually take tests to discover what foods are actually causing problems for you within your gut. There's a lot of things, there's a lot of answers out there. And the idea is that I took a test not too long ago, about a year and a half ago. It was totally not related to a food sensitivity test. It was due to my body type.
I'm gonna get her this.
And the idea was that it came back and told me that I shouldn't be eating cold foods like lunch meats. That basically I should heat everything that I eat. It also told me that I shouldn't be eating peanuts, which I'm not a good student of because I did go off for a long time. Now I'm back to eating them.
Did you love them?
But the idea is that there are certain foods that you would deem, here's what I mean, you would deem healthy, but they may not be healthy for you. And so the only way to know, I'm aware of this, so it's like an alcoholic knowing he shouldn't have a drink and I still drink. And the idea is that there are 3 or 4 other suggestions to me as that how I can change my the foods that are causing challenges for me, but their answers are out there through testing.
And so the other part I want to add about this, because what he's talking about has to do with the gut and candida proliferation and overgrowth, is that you don't know until you go on a candida-free diet. So even though these people, and by the way, we eat the things we love because we crave them and they might be bad for us. It's crazy. I had a peanut moment the other night. Chuck said, hey, where are all the peanuts? I'm like, yeah, I ate them. And I was miserable that day. And every time I eat those same peanuts he gets, they shall remain nameless. Am miserable. I don't like to... I'm miserable. I'm massively miserable. In the moment, they taste amazing. This is a blood test. It's a finger stick blood test for the basic 95, and we do a blood test in the office for the 180. The cool thing about it, what I want you to understand is,
when you say basic 95 and 100,
there's 95 foods that are more common,
right.
And then there's an expanded panel, which is foods that are not that common, like duck eggs and certain spices. And it's pretty cool, though, because if you eat already pretty clean or paleo, you might need to switch. Hey, Alan. So the bottom line for this byproduct of the Candida albicans is that it creates an environment in the body. If you feed yeast sugar, right, what does it do? It makes it spread and rise. So if you have all this overgrowth, and Candida can be yeast, it can be a fungus, it goes back and forth.
It's like putting wood in a fire.
You cause it to swell, and your tissues swell, and that's why there's pain, or there's pain, or there's pain, or there's pain, or there's skin irritations. There's all kinds of things. And by the way, there's a weight problem. Coco, what do you want to say? You are just all fired up right now. Candida, dogs get ear infections. If you have ear infections, it's from yeast overgrowth, and you need to get off grains, because they're high in carbon and sugar, proliferate that problem.
Where we're getting at now, and we're kind of closing this out, is that there's the whole idea is that people come to us and say, I'm just going to count calories, and I can shoot a lot of holes into calorie counting. And tonight I hope we proved why that's just not really that effective. We also could talk about one reason you don't count calories, because you may be eating some foods that are absolutely sensitive for you, and they're causing inflammation to your joints, and they're causing belly bloat, and they're causing leaky gut, and they're causing fogginess in your head, and you're getting headaches, you can't remember the way you did, and it's not extreme, but you just know you're not as sharp as you once were, or you remember yourself to be.
The other night after I ate the peanuts all day.
Well, this all happens, and so the idea is that we can get to a range. But the main thing is that it's the combination of the exercise and it's the combination of the nutrition that together is going to create the best effect for anyone. But eating well is going to serve you right, because you can lose weight. But the idea is that, or you can just feel better because you're eating well. Eating well and exercise is going to serve you because your body is going to respond in a much more positive way, because not only are you burning calories, but you're going to burn calories throughout the day.
And the heating up helps to sweat out the toxins that your body is naturally creating from the foods it doesn't do well with. It creates the formaldehyde in the body, and it's all very toxic. The whole body is toxic until you get it cleaned out. That's a whole another conversation we've done before, and we'll do it again.
That's a big subject. So, just keep in mind, if you the whole idea is that when we leave this, we post this, right? And we know that many people will watch this video this week. You may share it, tell other people about it. But tonight, if you know somebody who just insisted that they can count calories and win, well, if you're 25 years old, you probably can. And you may even find one success story out of somebody that just worked it that way, and it worked for them.
It is possible, but it is not the norm for people who have ongoing weight
But
challenges.
I'm just saying, it probably won't work if that is your only plan, to drop that weight or to feel better. So I hope this all makes sense to you tonight. I hope that you can take something from it, Lee. Other than Coco also was part of our program tonight.
Coco loves talking to everybody.
Yeah.
I think we didn't feed her before the talk. Feed your dog before talk.
That's the theory. All right.
Well, that's probably a good theory.
Yeah. All right. Very
She's
good.
telling us she's hungry. Look, she's eating now.
We're going to post. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much for your participation. Thanks for the question.